Riverdale sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We provided a list of content warnings in the episode description. Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And we have 2 episodes of Riverdale for you.
Yeah.
They're all right. They're not my faves.
Yeah. I think the second episode might be my least favorite of the series. It can be bad in certain places and then just kind of boring in other places.
Yeah, I recall feeling quite bored. We watched this earlier in the week, and usually we watch on Monday. We record on Tuesday we're a week ahead of you. So if you ever hear us talk about current events and it's all sorts of weird and you're like, oh my God, the world is not what it was. When did they record this? It was a week ago at least. But this week I got sick. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying really hard not to sniffle into the microphone at you. But that does mean that I no longer remember anything. So we're relying solely on my notes.
That's a good thing you took. And, when we're going through the summary, you'll be like, oh yeah, that stuff.
So far, my favorite line I've written down is Penelope. I only poison men. You killed Chick. And it's like, neither one of these things seem that bad.
The first episode that we'll recover, it's all right.
The Red Dahlia, which is Penelope.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we got more Penelope focus than what we get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it's, again, doing so many things at once. It's like, we're going to do a noir, but we're also going to wrap up a bunch of threads. We say it every week. This is very PLL coded, where it's like, we're just going to drop a bunch of things so we can move on.
Well, and we can discuss this when we discuss the episode. You compared it to the black and white episode of Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
Which is more fun because you're in, is it Spencer's hallucination?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's so much more fun. But the only character that does it really, really well in that, I feel like, is Allison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in this, it's only in the noir setting when we have the scenes with Veronica and Jughead.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is not.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. And we, if you go back and listen to our episode on the black and white, we didn't think that was all too hot either. But
no,
we did enjoy that everybody's in their fun costumes and it's all
aesthetically. It's such a fun episode.
Yeah.
Conceptually, it's a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it for what it is and not at what it could be, it's a great time.
Yeah, stylistically, doing a great job.
Yes.
But, well, we might as well just get in. Oh boy, I messed up my hair. Get into our cast this week.
Embarrassing. You got messed up hair. Oh, yeah, but we do get one of my favorite things.
That's right, and it's Kelly Ripa. Playing Mrs. Mulray.
And if you don't remember, she is married to Mark Consuelos, who plays Hiram.
That's right.
So she's his secret affair in the episode, but she's his wife and the mother of his children in real life.
That's right. And they met on All My Children.
Yes, when they were both on All My Children.
And they were each other's love interests. And then
Kelly Ripa went off to do other things.
I feel like Kelly Ripa, so since 2001 is when she's been on the talk show. So starting with Regis. Or it's just called Live. And then they put in whoever the host name is. So it's Regis, and then it was Michael Strahan, and then Ryan Seacrest, and now she does it with Mark Consuelos. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Kelly Ripa, though, is just one of those people who's famous for just being herself. Mm-hmm. I don't think I know very many people who are like, I watch Live. It's just oh, Kelly Ripa. Yeah, I know who Kelly Ripa is.
Yeah. Well, I feel like everyone used to watch Live with Regis and Kelly.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of what built it.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the heyday of television. It was a different, maybe not the heyday of television. I don't know.
Let me tell you.
If you're a television person, you're like, that was actually this year. You're right. I'm not ready to have that fight. I'm sick. Mm-hmm. But we were all watching daytime television. Yeah. I'd be at Granny's house sick, and sometimes we'd be watching Live.
That's what I was going to say. This is prime for when there was a more robust middle class and people could stay home and manage kids.
Stay-at-home moms.
And then kids being homesick. So I feel like that's why we really know it, because it's like, what else is on? It's like, well, I'll watch live for a little bit before I go over to Price is Right.
See, I didn't watch a lot of game shows.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. That was like later. It was later on. I don't know, a little older and staying homesick. But
That's different vibe.
yeah. Yeah, but that's Kelly Ripa. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. Did a great episode of Broad City.
Oh yeah. I forgot about
where
that.
she's just completely unhinged.
We should rewatch that at some point.
Yeah, that's a great episode. And then Simon C. Hussey playing Major Mason. Not too substantial, so I just listed off a few things here. Fire Country coming up again, 2 episodes. Was also in the CW.
He looks like someone who would be on Fire Country.
Absolutely. You know what? He probably comes in and he's gumming up the works on Fire Country, and then they have to get one over on him and show him that they know how to do things.
Yeah.
He's probably like coming down hard on the because they're like prisoners. So yeah. And then he was on the CW Batwoman show that got canceled, because I was like, oh right, I forgot about that. Oh. And then Flash, other CW superhero shows and things.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our cast. Brief this week, with just our couple guest stars. Well, I mean, he's been on a few episodes now, but this is where he gets wrapped up because, we're
saying bye to Moose.
Exactly. Moose played by of course I didn't write his name down.
We're ending Coos. I think that's what Cheryl calls him, is Coos.
Oh.
Kevin and Moose.
Cody Kersley.
All right.
Yeah. Because he was joining a Netflix show, so they wrote him off. So that's why Moose leaves at the end of the next episode, not this episode. But that's after we get to, again, like you mentioned, chapter 46, The Red Dahlia. The episode title may come from the second novel of the Anne Travis book series of the same name, but so fandom's just taking some shots in the dark that isn't just the Black Dahlia. I feel like it's probably just a play on the Black Dahlia.
But because she's a blossom, it's red.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. But fandom's it could be this. So apparently an Anne Travis book series. But then there's a 1946 noir film, The Blue Dahlia, which was a year before the famous Black Dahlia murder. So. Oh. And then, there's several references throughout the episode to Chinatown. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Mulray is named after one of the characters in the film. The water plotline and water inspector is spoilers for Chinatown.
It's been out for a while, so
yeah, it's it ends up being all about water resources. Is what's going on in the noir. And then Veronica, of course, saying forget it, Jughead, it's Riverdale. Mm-hmm. So there you go. And then also there's references to Philip Marlowe, and Jughead calls Veronica Bacall. Mm-hmm. Big Sleep, right, is the one we watched, which with oh my God, Humphrey Bogart and then Lauren Bacall.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Because at one point he says to Betty, would Bogart give up or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He sees himself as Philip Marlowe there.
Which is so rude. Who's our real Philip Marlowe? Betty Cooper.
This should have been Betty.
This should have been Betty's plotline. Mm-hmm. And it should have been Archie or a man coming to her asking for help, and it should have been a gender flip, and it would have been way more interesting.
It would have been so much better
if we'd followed I also think the plot line of, and we'll get into this when we get into the episode, of Penelope Blossom is more interesting than this plot line with Hermione and Hiram and them.
Yeah, you're oh, okay, so Hermione now has agency and she's also just horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Penelope's got agency, she's horrible, and she's interesting.
Exactly.
So there.
On the cover of the script, because they have pictures of those on fandom, it's Betty and Jughead and Cheryl coming to them for help.
Being Bughead help. Yeah.
And it's now we would have had something.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe they're doing something those days, so they had to separate them and shoot them differently. Anyway, Jughead has a typewriter now. And he's Riverdale is a Raymond Chandler novel. Raymond Chandler, detective stories. FP interrogates the Serpent Boys about Tallboy, and Jughead says they put Tallboy on a bus out of town. And then
in the bunker. They have FP in the bunker.
Yeah.
Which is where Tallboy's body is.
Okay, yeah, that was my next slide. Is Tallboy is directly under the cot that FP is sitting on. FP already doing a great job at sheriff. He also acts like a sheriff in this scene. It's like, oh, shut up. He's like, yeah, all right, you boys, I'll come back, and you boys better have a better story. And I'm like,
yeah,
get out of here.
Why?
Yeah. I'm like, you've been sheriff for an hour, and then you're also only doing it to cover your ass.
Sheriff for an hour.
Betty visits Hal, showing that the paper is showing Claudius's murder was a suicide. Betty says Penelope must have done it since she's a poisoner. And then Hal suggests that Clifford also died by suicide near Penelope and wonders, is that the whole story?
Okay, so what pisses me off the most about this is that Betty knows that her dad is sleeping with Penelope.
Right.
So why in the world would you follow any of his clues or instincts towards anything in regards to her?
I don't know.
Your father is so morally bankrupt. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I don't know why she's doing this.
No.
And then, Hal says Cheryl was there too, was also there that night as well. This is all shot in Dutch angles, by the way. Betty's descending into a nightmare. Archie tells Fred that college isn't for him and maybe he can work for Fred. And Fred's like, well, where's this coming from? And Archie's like, well, working with my hands will help me clear my mind. And Fred agrees and takes him to the site to work that day. And then working at the site, Archie won't stop working. And the foreman's like, it's very nice that you want to keep working, but this is union. So, like, you need to leave with everybody else.
You got to take your break.
Yeah, and then Archie's like, what the hell? And then starts shoving him and getting in his face and then pushes him again. And so the foreman fires him.
Tries to fight a 40-year-old.
Yeah. He's doing great. Elio brings Veronica a bouquet. It's for Hiram to check on him, and he tells Veronica that vultures are looking to swoop into Hiram's territory. Veronica then steps into Jughead's office in a fun noir outfit, and she wants Jughead to find out who shot Hiram. Veronica offers Hermione as a suspect, and Jughead agrees. Jughead interrogates Hermione in her office. She was picking up lunch when Hiram was shot. He asks about why her and Hiram were fighting, and Hermione says Hiram was having an affair. She had Minetta follow him and take photos of his affair, and then we see he's having an affair with Kelly Ripa in the photos.
Which is the funniest thing ever.
It's a great reveal. Supposedly, Hiram called it quits after Hermione called him on it. Fred tells Archie he can't go back to the job site, and Archie tries to leave, and then Fred also found his alcohol stash, and Archie storms off mad. Betty goes to Thistle House, and it's the service for Claudius. Penelope cries, giving her speech, and Nana Rose, sitting next to Betty, goes, crocodile tears.
I love Nana Rose.
It's so good.
We needed a Nana Rose in Pretty Little Liars. Yes. Instead we had Tippy the Bird. Imagine if this had been what Mrs. Grundy was instead.
Oh, that'd be so good. Hannah, dear, I'm worried about you.
No, she's just Hannah's weird grandma.
Yeah. Hi, Grandma. Hannah, the spirits.
Or like Aria, or like one of the girls is like, or maybe even Emily's like afraid of the grandma. Like,
yes. That'd be Aria.
Aria.
Yeah.
Emily'd be like, oh, she's fine. And then she's got like a knife behind Aria or something. Exactly. Like, we should have written Pretty Little Liars.
I know.
Check out our Pretty Little Liars fan fiction.
Now there's an opening for the fourth. If you need new showrunners for the fourth one.
We're bringing back the original characters, and we're just taking them back to high school. We're gonna use the same actresses too. You know what?
I want to know why they weren't brought in for the new one. They name drop him at the end of season 1.
Aria specifically, right?
Yeah, Aria and Ezra.
I wonder if they were just busy, or like they couldn't get them, or
they're like, we're fine.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't want to, or maybe like
we did that for 7 seasons, and it's maybe been
also
4
they
years.
kind of shit talk on Ezra. So like, do you really want to like bring that character back?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know what I mean?
And as if you were Ian Harding.
That, and also like in this, like, do you really want to give that character screen time?
Oh, then why name drop him that way?
I don't know.
Anyways, okay, so then after the service, Cheryl asked Betty what she was really doing there, and Betty's like, gives her a theory, including about Clifford being poisoned and killed by Penelope, and Cheryl says he killed himself, and her and Toni then tell Betty to leave. Tony's like, what are you doing? It's a funeral.
But no, okay, what doesn't make any fucking sense about this scene is that this man literally is why Cheryl got locked up. Cheryl doesn't like Claudius.
Right. So then
it's not like she's sad about her uncle.
It's about her dad, though, because Betty but still.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, it's a super sensitive time. And it's like, no, your evil uncle died.
Yeah. And then...
who was played by the same man as your dad. Exactly. Get over it.
And then...
I love Cheryl. I will defend her to the end of the earth, but I don't fucking get it.
Your dad also killed your brother, so...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Not good vibes.
No. Jughead and the Serpent Boys don't know what to do with Tall Boy's body. Jughead asks Sweetpea to tail someone for him. Veronica speaks to her dad's bodyguards, who are twins. They tell her that people are talking and they should partner with the Grandes. And Veronica gets in an argument over this, and she fires them. She goes, "Don't mob-splain to me."
It's so good.
They really give Mendez, like, on paper, the most ridiculous lines to deliver. It's really been in Veronica's favor lately. Like,
yeah, the writing is really good for Veronica.
Yeah, but it like out of context,
in a hilarious way. Yeah. I'd recognize those abs anywhere.
Exactly. Veronica calls a meeting with Smithers and Reggie. Smithers is apparently ex-military and talks about stacking helmets on bayonets from within the bunker, so it looks like there were soldiers there. Excuse me, Smithers, how old are you?
What war were you in?
What were you in? He's like, when Woodrow Wilson was president. Jughead and Betty go to track down Hiram's mistress. They're detectiving together. They find the hotel room is unlocked, and it turns out it's a brothel. They ask one of the workers there, and she says it's the Maple Club. Jughead asks about Hiram's mistress, and she's seen her around and tells her to check room 311. Penelope rounds the corner and tells him to get out, and Jughead threatens to go to his dad and tell him about this place, and so they interrogate Penelope, and Penelope's like, I didn't get revenge on the sisters because the Monsignor is the one who sold her to the Blossoms, and that she didn't do any other poisonings. Because they make an accusation that she killed all the sisters of Quiet Mercy. Josie is back at Le Bon Nuit, apparently. Archie sits alone drinking, and then Reggie cuts him off, and they get in an argument. Reggie calls over security, and they pin down Archie, and then Josie stands up for him and helps Archie out. She brings him back to his house and tells him to get it together and puts him in a cold shower. It's only bad when they're passed out, right? Like, aren't you not supposed to put, like, someone who's passed out in, like, a cold shower?
Well, you're not supposed to put someone who's passed out in water because they'll drown.
I thought there was something specifically that was, like, if someone is, like, passed out drunk, you don't put them under, you don't do this, like, sort of thing to them. Like, it's bad.
I believe you. It would have never been an idea of mine. This person's passed out drunk, let me lug their ass to the shower?
If you're like, oh, we need to get them up and about.
For what?
I don't know.
What use does a passed out drunk person have when they're not passed out anymore? Throwing up?
You need to get them to move back home or something?
You got them to the shower.
Could be someone else's shower of whoever house they passed out at.
And then I don't know. I didn't live this life. I lived that life, but I didn't live that life.
I don't know.
I believe you. I'm sure there's a thing.
I was asking for confirmation, but now it sounds like I'm a crazy person.
No, I'm sure it is a thing. I'm just like, why?
What? To what end? Veronica goes door to door collecting on behalf of Hiram. We see that someone is dressed up to look like him in the black car, and we later see it's Reggie. Betty goes back to Dr. Curdle Jr. to get the autopsy report on Clifford. Claudius was cremated, so there wasn't one for him. There was pufferfish venom in Clifford's blood, and he was already dead when he hung himself. I haven't seen a lot of Simpsons, but there is the one I do know is the one where Homer accidentally eats pufferfish and thinks he's going to die. Josie tells Archie to channel his anger into something constructive and tells him that Tom Keller boxes at the gym. And Archie's like, oh, that sounds nice. And he's like, well, I thought that I faced my demon and killed him, and killed my demons in my dream. And then Josie gives him like a look like, uh-huh.
I looked this up with the cold water thing. So you don't want to pour water on a drunk person or force them to take a cold shower because they could choke. And cold showers because they could slip, fall, or choke on water or even drown. So I think that's...
Oh.
Okay, but he's laying down in the tub and she's just spraying him and he's conscious. He's
so
not
it's
drowning.
More about like that they could fall over and hurt themselves.
Yeah, or that they would drown.
Okay, I thought there was... Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I mean, that's one article. I'm not,
Mm-hmm. I'm probably just off base. I'm like, it's a shock to the system. It'll kill him.
Someone probably told you that.
Probably at the beginning of college.
They're like, don't put drunk people in the shower, and then you like filled in the rest, or someone else did.
I'm like, because their heart could give out.
Not funny, but it's just like, Jesus Christ. This is how urban legends start.
Making assumptions.
The other thing I saw was it's like, don't put a backpack on them, because apparently it's a thing to put a backpack on people so they don't roll onto their back to like asphyxiate if they like, throw up in their sleep. Oh. But I'm like, don't you just put them on their side? Like, things have changed.
Yeah, I could just imagine just an empty Jansport on someone so it doesn't do anything.
That's what I was thinking when I read it. So I was like, why would you put a backpack on a drunk person? They're going to think they're leaving.
Right. Yeah, right.
As someone who has practically babysat drunk people, I can tell you the backpack would have never been an idea I would have thought of.
They would have just walked out the door and said, see you after class.
They wouldn't have. They would have just kind of looked at you funny.
That's probably true. What are you doing? Archie says he has to face this head on and then runs off. And Josie's like, what are you doing? Veronica looks through her dad's files and found a bunch of invoices and receipts. She found that Hermione is part of it. She says she found out, Hermione's like, no, I'm innocent. I found out later. And the quarantine was apparently to allow Hiram to shut down the drug factories. He lied and instead consolidated all his drug factories into the prison. Veronica says, let's work together to take this all down while he's in the hospital.
Where were his other drug factories?
We don't see any of them. It's all off screen.
I don't think it's real.
Yeah. Well, then what about all the drugs they get later?
I think they're all coming from the prison. I think they've always come from the prison.
But we never... Okay, so here's the thing I find confusing about this. Because Archie goes to juvie. He doesn't go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica says, okay, so then...
Imagine if they sent Archie to the prison instead. Yeah. That would have been an interesting plot line.
Exactly. I like the juvie plot line, but at least would have connected all this back. He's like, they're making drugs here. Hermione says we could sell it for an all-cash offer. I found a buyer. All the drugs. Betty goes to Penelope to confront her about Clifford. Betty calls her the Red Dahlia, and she's a killer. And Penelope's like, please, Betty, I only kill men. She killed Clifford, Claudius, and Daryl. Clifford, Claudius, and then this high school kid. Claudius...
I thought it was his dad.
Oh, his dad. I am thinking of Dilton.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. You're killing this kid playing Griffins and Gargoyles? Go for it, I guess.
No, it was his dad.
That makes way more sense. Claudius apparently...
And one teenager.
I was like, that's so out of pocket. Claudius apparently caused everyone's seizures because he was making drugs in the maple factory and then dumping the runoff into the river and poisoning the town's water supply.
Vibes.
This wild as shit happening off screen. Penelope says Hal tells me things.
But it's only affecting girls?
Yes. She has a reason for this that I can't remember. I might not have written down, actually.
I don't feel like they're just like, well, yeah, because of but they don't actually say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Penelope says Hal tells me things as well, and you sent Chick to his death by the Black Hood. If you turn me in, Betty, I'll do the same. Betty, I'll do the same to you. Jughead breaks into Hiram's mistress's room and finds a Glamourget egg. She comes in with a gun drawn. Turns out she's a water inspector and was paid by Hiram to fake the water supply report and send it to the governor. Jughead gets a call from Sweet Pea, who is following Hermione. Turns out she meets with Minetta at a private lodge, and they are having an affair. The lodge, separate lodge.
Not the lodge.
Hermione tells Minetta to take care of their outstanding problem, and they're trying to frame FP for something. Archie goes to Riverdale General Hospital. Apparently, he's the only one there. Creepy.
It's real weird.
And then goes into Hiram's room with a gun drawn. FP is about to go to the hospital, and Jughead says Minetta and Hermione are trying to kill Hiram and frame him. Jughead found out that Hermione paid Dr. Curdle Jr. to fake Minetta's death. FP doesn't want to go after Hermione. Turns out FP is the one who shot Hiram and wanted revenge for what he did to Jughead on the big riot at the end of season 2. He wanted the sheriff's office to protect himself. Jughead opens up about Tallboy and thinks he has a solution, but needs Alice's help. Archie gives a monologue to comatose Hiram and goes to shoot him. When he sees someone coming, he hides at the door as the door opens to a man dressed in a ski mask with a gun. Archie fires his gun and scares off the assassin. Hermione gets called into the sheriff's office, and Alice is there with a camera to have an interview. FP wants to get on the air to tell her that they caught Hiram's shooter, and it was apparently Tallboy. Tallboy got violent, and FP had to discharge his firearm during the arrest. Veronica tells Reggie she thinks Hermione got Hiram's shot so she could make money on selling Hiram's drug business. She wants them to break into the prison and shut it all down, and Reggie says it sounds like the plot of Bad Boys 2, which she doesn't understand at all. I did like that. She gets a call from Archie and tells Reggie she has to go. Veronica arrives at the hospital and turns out Hiram's alive. She asks Archie what he was doing there, and Archie's like, I came looking for you, and apologizes for being an ass at the speakeasy. Veronica says, I apologize for thinking you'd shoot him. And Archie's like, yes, I wasn't thinking that at all. She tells him Hiram is awake and wants to see him. And then Archie visits with Hiram, and he proposes a truce, and Archie agrees. Reggie and Veronica burn the fizzle rocks that they apparently stole from the prison off screen.
Well, Reggie stole off screen, remember?
Yeah.
She sends Reggie to go steal the fizzle rocks by himself while she goes and meets up with Archie.
And he's like, cool, it'll take me about 30 minutes max.
Yeah, I'm good. I got this.
Why do this?
Why not make the 2 episodes? Mm-hmm. It's in the plot line.
Yeah. They're like, ooh, we're out of time, and we have 22 episodes this season. Betty goes to Hal to talk about Penelope. Betty says she kind of feels pity for Penelope and that maybe everything isn't black and white. Hal wonders if she'll ever see him in a compassionate light. No. Come back around. We're almost done. Archie visits Josie and thanks her for her help. He wants to learn boxing and wants the two of them to jam sometime, and she's like, yes. Hermione accosts Veronica because Hermione's buyer paid her in advance. Hermione visits Jughead, and he regurgitates the facts of the case to her and that she did all this to get revenge on Hiram for giving seizures to Veronica. And Hermione says Hiram also hired Tallboy to take shots at me and tells him that if he tells anyone, FP goes down as well. We then see Hermione kill Minetta. And Veronica visits Jughead, and we get a reference to Chinatown. The end.
Okay, so we have 3 stalemates in this episode. We have the Jughead and Hermione stalemate.
That's right.
Where we are like, Jughead, she has dirt on FP, which doesn't make any sense because FP just did a public statement with her on what happened. So, like, how would she then turn it around on FP?
I guess maybe she has receipts.
Okay.
In the, internet term of...
But don't we have receipts of her with Minetta?
Oh, and right. And that Tallboy maybe would have done it?
Yeah. So, anyway. So, it doesn't really make sense to me.
No.
We've got...
Feels like you should call her on it. A
stalemate between Betty and Penelope, which is centered on Hal, which drives me fucking nuts. Because I would rather Hal not exist.
Yeah.
One of my biggest pet peeves in this episode is that we have 2 women villains finally, and don't get me wrong, I love a villain.
Oh yeah.
And Penelope's almost there, but it's still too centered on men to be good.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that men can't be the big bad, because I do think men are the worst. So it makes sense that Hiram's really the problem, but even with Hermione getting her own plot and being quote unquote bad, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's still just all of her things that she's doing here is somehow still connected back to Hiram and things.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, some of her reasonings are I'm getting revenge on the men are in town, and that's pretty good, but she's still just kind of I'm just chaos mode.
Yeah. And then with Penelope, it's she does manipulate Betty into seeing herself in her, which I think is pretty fun. She's you killed chick, I kill men. What's the difference? We kill bad men.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is that Betty wouldn't abuse her child.
Yeah.
And Penelope abused Cheryl.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Betty also visiting her dad, and then we'll come back to the Archie Hiram stalemate, but while we're on the Betty and Penelope plotline, so we can just get it fucking over with. Betty going and visiting her dad is just so stupid. It's such a wasted plotline.
Yeah.
It was one thing to make her go see him, to make her face that, but having her go back and having her not have a parent to talk to and using her dad as that. necessarily mind that as a concept, but it doesn't work with what he's done.
It should be Penelope.
Yes. Yes, Penelope should be like her evil fairy aunt godmother energy, like over her shoulder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like she says at the end of the episode, talking to Hal, maybe things aren't so black and white. Maybe sometime, as you and your mother say, quoting that Snapped episode of sometimes
some men just need killing. I don't 100% know if that's the direct quote, but that's what we took from that episode of Snapped.
The spirited thing. And that's where like Penelope's coming from. It's just like, I take the law into my hands. And so then...
the law won't protect
justice,
me. So I have to create my own system of justice and protect myself.
Yeah. And so for Betty to then go, oh, wow, like, I feel conflicted about this because like these were bad people. And then her going to her dad, who's a serial killer and would be one of those bad people because he's like destroyed their lives and he manipulated her and gaslit her on top of all the other like random murders he did. And he's like, maybe you'll see me compassionately too. And I'm like,
well, and also like his is about morality, but like his morality doesn't make any fucking sense. Like he's like, they're all sinners. Then you're like, obviously you're a fucking sinner.
Yeah.
Whereas like, but then he was like married to her mom forever and she was obviously a sinner. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
And then you've got Penelope who's just like, bad men deserve killing.
Mm-hmm.
Men who wrong me deserve killing.
Right.
Men who irritate me deserve killing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, who am I to judge?
But it's a much more, exactly. It's a much more compelling pitch when it's Penelope telling that to Betty instead of Betty then going to Hal,
and then
who's exactly one of those men.
Her auntie Penelope could be really guiding her in that direction, and then that would also create friction with her and Cheryl, and like it would actually tie into the characters we already have and the plot we got going on.
Right.
The Hal of it all could just go away.
Go away.
So we have that, and then we've got Jughead who has to stay silent to protect FP, which I already pointed out the holes in the argument. But like once again, he's being like parentified for his father, even though his father's a fucking sheriff.
Uh-huh.
Like make that make sense for just like 2 minutes. Also, FP has all the power. Why doesn't he just arrest Hermione? You know what I mean? Like this is a weird. She's created a weird power struggle for herself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I don't feel like that's very compelling. But then we have Archie and Hiram. So we're going to talk about Archie now.
Yeah.
Because we have to, because it's an Archie comic.
We have to.
So Archie confronts Hiram. I say confronts because Hiram is asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Hiram is not conscious for this confrontation.
Where did Hermione and Minetta take all the patients?
You know what? It's none of our fucking business. Anyway, so Archie goes to confront Hiram, and Archie's like, man, I should have killed him when I had the chance. I got to do this now. And then he hears Minetta come in, and he sees Minetta, and then he decides to save Hiram. That fits Archie's narrative, to be honest. Like, there's not too much plot hole in that. Like, it's who Archie is. Archie was never going to actually kill Hiram.
Yeah.
Archie can't do it. But then when he's like, he saves him, and then he tells Veronica, like, he doesn't hate him anymore. And I'm like, bro, what?
You really should.
But it's like, is this truce for real?
It's not, yeah. I mean, even if if Hiram calls a truce on Archie, he's still going to be doing terrible things to the town and people he loves.
Yeah, but Archie apparently is willing to negotiate everyone else's safety and lives because he just wants to be able to like walk his dog in peace.
Yeah.
Archie is a white man. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
My life is fine, so it's fine.
And this goes back to the like last week our annoyances with Veronica of like, thank you. Why?
Yeah.
He's horrible.
He's a horrible man. We're in a horrible scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So with Archie, we get to talk about Josie, which like, give me more of her, please.
Yeah.
More her and more Toni, please. I could use more of the characters we already have and less Hal.
Yeah. I have some, well, Josie's is fine. Never mind.
I think her plotline's fine. Like she's serving the Archie of the plot, but it is an Archie comic. We're all serving the Archie of the plot, unfortunately. Except for Betty. She's off doing her own shit.
Exactly.
Betty has nothing to do with Archie anymore.
She doesn't do with nobody.
Betty's living her own show.
She is. I was like, oh my God, Jughead and Betty, they're going to do detective thing. And then they're like, okay, see ya.
I love you, bye.
Yeah, I got my own separate plotline.
But, yeah, so Josie sobers up Archie, and then she's like, you should go. You should either sing or you should go fight with Kevin's dad, who does his boxing thing with the boys. And then Archie's like, oh yes, must go hit things. Got it. I'm gonna go shoot Hiram. We all can head tilt like a Labrador there for just a minute and just go, what the fuck?
Well, he's the one who took when Fred's like, I'm going to speak metaphorically
you
about
need
that.
to
You need
fight.
to keep fighting. And Archie's like, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like when someone's fighting cancer, they're not putting on boxing gloves. Like, let's use our... But I mean, obviously he couldn't take the SATs, so maybe Archie missed the class on metaphors.
Yeah.
He's only been passing because of Betty, so we've learned. And now she's busy, so...
Yeah, she's booked and busy.
But so we have that. We have Josie like trying to help him, which leads to a budding something.
Yeah.
Something's festering. It shouldn't be festering. That sounds so bad.
Doctor needs to check that out.
Something's potentially developing, you know? And you're like, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't bother me in either direction. Like,
no, it's like the most biding time romance.
Yeah, I think the show does a more compelling job with Veronica and Reggie.
Yes.
And so you go, okay, so obviously Archie needs someone to kiss right now. It's just it's like, I don't need Veronica and Archie together necessarily.
No.
I do prefer Betty and Jughead together.
Yes.
Like, I've always felt very passionately that the show works best when the two of them are dating and not fighting and happy.
Yeah.
Because it makes the show more interesting, because just watching them fight with each other is boring as fuck.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now they're just like, they're dating, but they're they're living two separate lives.
Yeah, they're two different plots, so. But in general, but even still, like, I find their plot lines are fine. Like, it serves the narrative well. I find that Veronica, I don't really care who she's dating. Like, if she's dating Reggie, it's great. If she's dating Archie, it's fine. Like, her plot is so much centered on her family that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Archie's kind of like the wasted character.
Yeah. Like,
he's kind of the least, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, least important in the Archie comics.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, he was...
Of this story, not in Archie comics as a concept. Obviously, it's Archie comics.
No, he's been so disconnected from everything that's actually going on in Riverdale. So right now, the plot line is like, how can Archie get back into the plot lines at Riverdale and not lose his head?
It's just interesting. But yeah, so that's my take on this. That, and I want more Cheryl and Toni.
Yeah. And my final thoughts on this is just, there's so much packed into this episode that is just like, here you go, here's an answer, and here's an answer for this. And FP's the one who shot Hiram, and then Tall Boy's the one that took shots at Hermione when she was giving the speech, and it's like all this like wrap up. It's like, here's all these like dangling threads that we're gonna wrap up for you. And it's kind of like, and then because they're doing all that, there's so much in the episode that's just happening off screen. So it's just like all of as I smack things, waving my arms around, but it's like all of Hiram's drug things is happening off screen. A break into the prison is happening off screen. And then it's just kind of like, what?
There's not really any Betty and Jughead in the next episode. There's a little bit of Jughead. Is there any Betty?
They're not. Yeah.
Is there a little bit of Jughead? I think there is. Is there not?
I don't think either of them are in the episode.
It does make me wonder, like, was one of them sick or something filming this episode, and like they had to like change it? You know what I mean, or something?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Because it is funny of just like, all right, see you later, pal.
Yeah, it's like, okay, love you, bye.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't know.
That's it for me.
Well,
on to the next. Chapter 47, Bizarro Dale. The way the world is going, it's like we're living in Bizarro Dale. Anyways. In universe, I already mentioned that Cody Kersley was written off, so Moose Mason. So we get a nice little goodbye on this episode.
Nice. That's how you describe this, as a nice little goodbye?
Yeah, fair enough. The main four are at Pop's and a table over. The Kellers and McCoys have family breakfast. Sierra and Tom want to have a private ceremony downtown to get married, and Josie and Kevin want to throw an after party at Le Bon Oui. Sarah says, okay, a small party. Moose and his dad stop by the table, and Sierra invites them to the party, and then Moose's dad gives a non-answer that he'll check his calendar. Sarah's like, it's probably jealousy because he was always into me growing up, and Tom's like, you. And he's like, well, we were friends, but we grew apart, ... I wonder where this was going. Not exactly where I thought it was going, but it is going in a similar direction. Toni and Cheryl enjoy alone time together when their phones go off with their SAT scores, and Cheryl and Toni both got really good scores. Do you receive SAT scores over the phone now? Let us know.
I don't know. We got ours in the mail?
That's right.
Or did we check online?
Ooh, maybe checking online. So maybe you're right. Yeah. Hermione wants Reggie and Veronica to pay off her debt. Hermione says the buyer who is dangerously unhinged is coming to town. But they're not specifically coming down. An intermediary on their behalf is going to be coming down. So we need to get them money before we all end up with our kneecaps busted. To which I go, is Veronica really going to end up that way? I don't think so. I think that's on you, Hermione. But Veronica and Reggie seem to buy this. And then Veronica drops another Netflix reference, instead, this time to the show Ozark. Cheryl interviews at Highsmith College, where her family has gone for decades. Apparently, her alumni status doesn't matter, as they're diversifying their student body with women from outside alumni. And Cheryl's like, I wonder which board member pushed for this. Moose and Kevin make out, and Kevin wants him to be his date to his dad's wedding, and Moose's dad busts in, but they don't get caught, and Moose is like, sorry, Kevin, I can't. Josie visits Sweet Pea, who is hoping for a hookup. Josie's like, it isn't, but invites him as a date to the wedding. Sweet Pea's like, I really want to date you, Josie, but I need commitment. I don't want you going in and out of here, dropping in and out. I need you to be here for me. And with that, I have enough self-respect to say no, Josie.
It's honestly really funny and kind of adorable.
It so much. It's really adorable.
Moose is like, I am not a hookup kind of guy. I'm a long-term relationship. We're either together or we're not.
That's right. It's like Sweet Pea's like, we had our fun, but like, I'm sick of this. We got to be together.
Yeah, I want to date you, or I don't want to date you at all.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Exactly.
Say what you
Sweet
need.
Pea.
She moves on very quickly.
Yeah, she's like, well, I wasn't that attached.
She's like, well, this was just for fun, which is fair.
Exactly. This is why we're glad, Sweet Pea made his intentions known. It was rough. They had a little rough time. I'm sure it's rough. It was a little rough for both of them, but they're able to move on. Cheryl visits the Maple Club, and
how rough was it for both of them?
I don't know. I don't know about Sweet Pea, but Josie is crying later.
Yeah, I think that has more to do with just like life.
Yeah. Cheryl visits the Maple Club and her mom, and apparently everyone knows about this place now. Because I'm like, oh, everybody's just showing up. Hey, yeah, did you hear Cheryl's mom runs a sex club? Anyway.
First of all, it's a brothel.
That's right. Cheryl blames her mom for the Highsmith College debacle, and then Penelope says, she doesn't say this exactly, but she's like, because you're gay, you shouldn't be going there. And then I'm like, oh, right, Penelope's homophobic. Sarah and Tom enjoy a night alone, and they find a letter. It was delivered to them. It's a threat to reunite with the Midnight Club to complete Ascension Night, and it's from the Gargoyle King. Cheryl sees Kevin looking sad, and she tells him to move on from Moose. Let's have a quiet moment together, Kevin. I want to talk heart to heart. And then, we're in another Bumble ad. And we're like, God damn it. And then the two of them complain about homophobia, and Kevin thinks Moose would come out if he actually liked him. And Cheryl's like, I think he needs a push. Cheryl makes an announcement of the new LGBTQIA alliance, and then essentially outs Moose without saying his name. Great. Over this intercom to all the students.
This doesn't seem very Cheryl at all.
No.
It's like they just wrote something that served the plot, but like Cheryl is so intentionally I don't know. Like she does things that you go, why? But you're like, well, that's Cheryl. But
Cheryl wouldn't do this.
No, she wouldn't do this. It's kind of like how she doesn't necessarily like hate women for what men do. Like, Cheryl's really good about that.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a code.
Yeah, totally. And later Moose asks Kevin if he put her up to do that, and Kevin's like, no, but like, I need you to, like, I can't just like sneak around with you anymore. Like, you need to tell your dad, or else we can't be together. Toni is angry at Cheryl later for outing Moose, and Toni is especially angry because she's disconnected from the serpents. And Cheryl's like, we have to fix this, and I'll make things right. And then Tony's like, okay, I will no longer have any character for the rest of the episode. I was like, oh, God. Archie finds Josie crying over Sweet Pea and pushing him away. And then she has an audition at Seaside High that day and needs a ride. So Archie's like, I'll take you. Veronica worries they'll have their kneecaps broken, and Reggie wonders if that's really a thing. And he's like, is robbing banks still a thing?
Bonnie and Clyde vibes.
Uh-huh. Reggie thinks they can steal from his dad's dealership safe, which is insured, so he'll get all the money back from the break-in. This is just like in Heat. And then, because apparently Reggie's dad will... I thought this was hilarious. Will finalize the deal with someone buying a car by taking him out to lunch. I'm like, you finalize deals off the lot?
At Pops.
Yeah, what if you were buying a car and the car salesman was like, I'll take you to lunch?
I mean, if it's Pops.
I guess so. The Midnight Club all meet and they all receive letters. Penelope thinks that 2 members of the Midnight Club are daring to be happy by getting married, and if they don't finish the game now, the Gargoyle King will never leave him alone. Hermione says, fine, I'll talk to Hiram to get him because he has to come back as part of the people that were all there on Ascension Night, and they all agree to finish the game. R.I.P. Daryl, who was not mentioned. Josie attends her audition for Juilliard as Archie watches from the stands. Veronica waits in the getaway car and hears gunshots, and then Reggie running down the street, and turns out he got shot in the arm because he's like, security was actually there. Cheryl and Toni sneak around the Maple Club to take photos of the clientele, and Penelope catches them and tries to call their bluff for blackmail, and then Cheryl and Toni shut her down. Josie didn't get involved to callbacks and is heartbroken and feeling alone. Archie offers to help her and be her date to the wedding. Veronica and Reggie go to count the money, but when Reggie opens the bag, it's a dye pack, and it explodes everywhere. Moose tells Kevin he told his dad, and tells Kevin he'll be his date to the wedding, and they can finally be together. Hurrah! Cheryl visits Highsmith again and gets an interview, but Cheryl gives up her spot instead for Toni to interview. We'll come back around on this. I'm very annoyed by it. Reggie and Veronica meet with the buyer, and it turns out it's Jughead's mom, Gladys. She says she's like, Hermione had the audacity to send her own daughter to settle her mess. They're super surprised she's Jughead's mom, because I'm like, oh, right, they wouldn't know. And they're like, wait a minute, what? Because she's like, yeah, you know my son. Gladys is like, I'm going to be sticking around for a while, and we'll figure out a payment plan for the rest, and we'll take this, like, gross money that has the dye pack all over it. And then she's like, I want your car also, Reggie, and don't tell Jughead.
Just to borrow it, though.
Yeah.
And Reggie's car's name is Bella.
Oh, I missed the name. Cheryl apologizes to Moose for outing him, and Moose says, what you did was wrong, but it did give me the push to be out. Jesus Christ, this is not the message we should be sending.
No.
The Midnight Club sneaks back into the school. Penelope gives them antidote to the cyanide when they drink from the cat.
Which is, like, they're like, yeah, we trust Penelope.
I know. She's like, I have the antidote. We should all drink it now. Kevin and Moose have their romantic evening in the bunker. The Midnight Club can't find the chalices to finish the game when they notice Penelope is missing. They hear her scream, and they run to see that she found a note from the Gargoyle King that says, got you! They think the Gargoyle King distracted them to lure them away from the kids. It's even funnier when you find out what this actually is going on. That Moose's dad wrote that up on the wall.
Got ya!
All the kids get calls from their parents, but Kevin isn't picking up Tom's call because they're in the bunker and there's no service. Moose and Kevin lie in the bunker when they hear noises and footsteps, and they find the Gargoyle King there, and they rush the boys. Oh, God, I have so many questions. Kevin and Moose get taken to the Gargoyle King and put in front of the chalices. Kevin flips a coin and goes to drink when suddenly an arrow flies at the king and cops rush in. Turns out the members of the gang there were ROTC members, and the king was Moose's dad. Where'd they get the gargoyle masks? FP interrogates Moose's dad, and he's not the Gargoyle King, really. But he radicalized the ROTC boys to help him because, they all have marching orders, so it's like,
yeah, we gotta rescue these boys from their being gay.
But then also it's just like, well, I already am the authority figure to these soldiers, and they'll do whatever I say.
Exactly.
And then apparently in the past, he tried to kiss Tom, and Tom wasn't receptive. And then his parents found out and sent him to the Sisters of Quiet Mercy for gay conversion. When he heard Tom and Sierra were getting married, and that Moose was with Kevin, and he's like, who looks so much like younger Tom.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Everything they're doing here. He took action. FP and Jughead go back to the trailer and find Gladys and Jellybean there, and Gladys breaks the news they're going to stay a while. The big party got called off for Sierra and Tom, but Josie and Archie find time to sing together alone. Oh, because they were going to sing together at the party. I didn't write that down. Mm-hmm. Moose tells Kevin he's moving to Glendale with his aunt and says he can't live in Riverdale, at least for a little while, and Kevin kisses him goodbye. Cheryl brings Toni around a bunch of girls sitting in a classroom who are dressed in rockabilly outfits, and then she's like, I got you a gang. And then Tony's like, oh, cool. I'll name them the Pretty Poisons. Pretty good name.
Yeah.
Reggie and Veronica tell Hermione about Gladys moving into town, and Hermione is distraught. Jellybean and Gladys conspire against FP to take over the whole town. And Josie and Archie finish their song and kiss. Mwah. The end.
So,
Sound a little like Miss Piggy there.
I guess let's start with the Cheryl Toni of it all.
Yeah.
You brought this up when we watched it. It's like, does Toni want to interview for this school? Like, and it seems like maybe Toni does, but it seems like that could have, like, I do wonder, were they trying to tell us that poorly with like that she was excited to check the SAT scores, that like Toni wants to go to a really good school as well as be the leader of a gang?
Right.
Because getting her the Pretty Poisons totally makes sense. I'm like, that's a great gift for her. She misses having community. She wants to have a group. Here's another group of disenfranchised women, presumably. Like, that's fine with me. I mean, acquiring a person a gang is a weird gift, but it's Riverdale, so it's not that, like, that's not the weird part. And she gives up her spot to give Toni a seat. Like, it's like we missed the conversation that would make that feel authentic. Like, if her and Cheryl had a conversation and Cheryl had been like, hey, what I want to do is this. Do you want that? Mm-hmm. That would have been, and it seems like she does because she's there and she's prepared for it, but they didn't show us that. So it sets a really bad example of like assuming what someone wants and throwing someone on the spot to interview.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't seem like that's actually what's happening. It just seems like they didn't bother to tell the whole story.
They didn't bother to give Toni any sort of screen time.
Yes.
Like, I hate that Toni never gets to voice her opinion. It's all Cheryl doing things for Toni. Mm-hmm. Toni doesn't get to take any action. Toni is like so passive through all this.
Except for at the very beginning of the episode.
Yeah, and where she expresses frustrations. Mm-hmm. And then you would think like Cheryl gets to support Toni on her journey to do things. But instead, Cheryl's like, let me do all this for you. And Toni's like, okay. So then we get no agency on the behalf of Toni and no screen time on behalf of Toni to do any of this. Mm-hmm. And actually, I hadn't thought of it until you mentioned earlier of doing things on behalf of someone. We just watched another show by the same creator who talked about, hey, maybe you shouldn't try to do things on behalf of someone because you think you know better.
Well, also Jughead did that earlier in the show when he was sharing Toni's grandfather's story for the serpents.
To which Toni is like, back off.
Yeah, she had more character then than she does now.
Yeah, it's really disappointing.
It's strange, too, because it's like, it's right there.
Right.
Okay, so then let's talk about Moose and Kevin.
Yeah.
So they had to write off Moose, and we couldn't just be normal about it. Couldn't just be like, Moose transferred away, Moose is gone. Because what we did to all the women on this show and black women that are no longer on the show is they just disappeared one day. The characters broke up and they just disappeared one day. They're just not here.
Yeah.
But with Moose, who I don't feel like was that important of a character, we get a whole episode on why he's leaving. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, are y'all playing favorites? Is it because he's a white man? Is it because, like, what's the story here?
Right. Thinking of, the other Pussycat band member that Archie used to date, Val.
Yes.
She's just gone.
She's gone.
She was as important as Moose at one point, if not more important.
Exactly. So we get the Major Mason plotline, which ties into the Midnight Club, which whatever. I hate this for many reasons. One of which, and you brought this up when we were watching it, is when he's like, at the end, when he's like, oh, and Kevin looks so much like his dad, it plays into that horrific stereotype of like gay men and pedophilia, which is like not a thing. Yeah. But like the stereotype, like there are not, I don't even want to say stereotype, but like it's this politicized like statement, like where we have sexualized gay people so much that we've decided that they're pedophiles. Like what? And so it plays into that, and I don't love that because of the world we live in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
not good enough storytelling to make that a good thing to do.
No. Mm-mm.
So don't love that. I think it's gross.
Yeah. And the whole
kidnapping his own kid and abusing his child because his child's gay is just like, out of pocket too. It's just so fucked up, and we already have so many homophobic parents. It's like, could we not have like one supportive parent besides Sheriff Keller?
Mm-hmm.
Sheriff Keller really is an ally, though. He's
Yeah.
like, you stay out of the woods, boy, but like, I know you're out there cruising, and you're like, what the fuck kind of dad is this?
He's like, I just want you to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same story we've been telling. They have nothing new to talk about the like gay experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing again, except this is just more lurid in a way that I find off-putting.
Well, and like, what was the point of having him come out to have his dad abuse him for him to leave the show?
Yeah, no, because they want it. I don't know. It's like they couldn't just
let him leave and still be in the closet, like, and have Kevin's heartbroken, and like, but also like that weird like, well, were we even really dating? Because like you know,
yeah,
you wouldn't be in public with me.
They couldn't just make an episode where it's like the characters are just doing things and there's not some sort of like wider mystery going on.
Yeah. Well, there are lots of wider mysteries going on. Like
they could have
used any other plot line.
Yeah.
Like we have plenty with the Reggie and Veronica and the Gladys reveal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because what it was, the intention was to put other characters like as the main four of being like Kevin, Cheryl,
Josie,
yeah,
and like Reggie.
Yeah, I don't know what the because I remember it was core 4 that was like listed there. There was like the that's like this episode's core 4. But I don't. Yeah, so it's like you didn't have to write this like whole other what do you call it?
Plotline?
Yeah.
Arc?
But it's like plotline that doesn't matter. Like Goose Chase, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I think also, like, if you wanted to have like these subplots that were like to bring them to the forefront, you needed to weave them in before this episode.
Yeah. Reggie was the other 4, and I don't think that really works in this context.
Because Veronica's still there.
Yeah, and it's like all about like Veronica's family.
But I think that if you wanted to have an episode like this where you're bringing other people's stories to the forefront, you could have threaded it earlier.
Yeah.
We could have built it in that way, so that then when we got here, like if we'd had more lead up to the Toni and Cheryl, it would have been a more satisfying story, and we would have had more answers on like, is this what Toni wants? Are we doing this the way? Like, does Cheryl have the consent of Toni to be doing this?
Yeah, I think it could have been a good corrective of be like, Toni's not really doing anything this season, and it's like, okay, we have this episode now where it's like, okay, here's Toni's time to shine.
And we're gonna give her a gang, and we're gonna really give her a plot line.
Right, but it's all she
Still
just kind of
Cheryl.
appears and goes like, "Thank you, babe."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Josie's just off to the side being like, I need a scholar. I'm trying to get into Juilliard.
So all of a sudden in this episode, Archie's normal again.
Yeah.
Archie's completely fine. There's nothing.
He's back to season 1, Archie.
And so he's like, let me help you, Josie, with your life and Juilliard. And she's like, I have no friends and no life because all I've done is focus on this one thing because I had to stay focused because I was told to stay focused. And like, now I'm miserable. And then I went solo, so I don't have any friends anymore. But I think what like the Josie plotline would have hit better once again if it's kind of like she's brought into the last episode, but this story is not in the last episode.
No.
So it would have been nice if we'd had a couple episodes to build to this, because I really like the idea of like telling the story of this perfectionist who's very isolated and has felt very removed, and like she's like, I did my best and it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And like to feel that, I think because we're watching it the way we are, like we're close enough to the early seasons to be able to remember how her dad was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're watching this weekly on TV, you're not thinking about that.
Yeah, that's true.
You've forgotten all of her family shit because we had quarantine and we had
There's a million other things
Archie
going
fought
on.
a bear.
Right.
And
so then
there's
when
a
you finally
cult.
come back around to Josie.
Yeah, you kind of forget. And so I think it would have been better if we'd had something that like really helped us keep this connected besides her like on or like not really commitment to Sweet Pea.
Yeah. And otherwise she's like, I've been singing at Le Bon Oui and I went on the heist.
Yeah, which like has nothing to do with this plotline.
No.
if even it had been like, oh, her and Archie hit it off because she was there to help rescue him. You know what I mean? Like if there'd been more to that. Archie. Yeah, like that would be a better way to tie it in. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't mind her plot line. No. I just wish that we had been given more time to breathe with it.
Yeah, because I would say I think it's very stock, and that's why I find it boring. It's like we don't know anything about her, so we don't have like any like accumulated time that we've like really spent with her. So it's like, okay, she's like a struggling artist trying to go to Juilliard and like all this. So you're just kind of like, I've seen this like kind of a million times before, and you're not doing anything else for it because it's competing for time with all these other things.
Exactly.
So it's very Cliff Notes of that sort of thing.
I think the other thing I want to talk about too is the Gladys Jelly Bean FP of it all. That like Gladys has brought Jelly Bean in to whatever scam she's running, but she won't bring in Jughead.
No.
My daughter is more trustworthy than my son. Also, she took her daughter but left her son.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's just like all of a sudden. It's
like this isn't the Parent Trap. They're not even twins. Like. He was a grown kid. Like, what was the intention here? Did Jughead decide to stay with his dad and Jelly Bean wanted to go with Mom, or did Mom just take Jelly Bean? Or
if I remember correctly, it's like she just left.
Yeah, with Jelly Bean.
Yeah. It is funny that it's like we get to Gladys originally, and it's like she's doing her own thing out here, and Jughead feels conflicted that like he's being left behind and substituted with all these other kids, but like. She's really nice and helps him out. And then now it's like, nope, I'm the new villain. Yep. I'm buying drugs off Hiram and I'm here to take over Riverdale.
Yep.
Okay, sure.
Yep. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Well, that's really all I have for this episode. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Nah.
Not the best.
Nope. We made some lemonade out of some lemons.
We did. And we appreciate you for having lemonade with us. Coming to our lemonade stand.
That's right.
Our communal lemonade stand.
Mm-hmm.
The Sudafed has officially worn off of me, so now it's just getting weird.
I like that. But we can wrap up then. I did like the lemonade stand though.
Thank you.
You can find more lemonade on your audio podcast platforms of choice at Dead Ends. You can also give us 5 stars there if you aren't cringing too much after that one. We appreciate it. You can also find us on YouTube where you can see the video version at dead_ends. Leave us comments on there. We like talking to people. It's great. And then we also have, if you don't want to leave a comment there, say you're an audio listener, you can also send us emails to deadendspcast@gmail.com. Am I forgetting it? Oh, I always forget to mention this. I'm so sorry, but our amazing art is by Vendrinick. You can find their Tumblr link in all of the podcast episode descriptions there. Yeah, I have it written down and I always forget to mention it. So apologies for that. But yeah, we really love our art. I think that's it then.
Well,
we don't fit in.
And we're not gonna fit in. I always have to go first because you never remember it.
I get stuck
When's it my turn?
I always get stuck on the "we're still here."
Oh, your dog's gonna bark at you. Okay, we love you. Bye.
Love you.